Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. Yes, indeed, it's me. And I'm here to deliver unto you another 1 versus 1. Yes, indeed, a 1 versus 1 of the Propagandacast. And right here we're watching at a rather curious parked car. Not entirely sure how that happened, but I'm pretty sure it involved a French driver going mad before he crashed into the wall. Now we are of course having a 1 vs 1 on Ruins of Rouen. Yes indeed, it has been some time, since we were at that, but I thought this match was actually interesting. It's not high level, I'm having a bit of that, but I thought it was interesting. It also features something that has been requested for a bit of a while. Panzer Elite, yes indeed, MajorAndersLarsen, or Anderslarsen, depending of course whatever language you sort of might be from, fighting for the 21st Panzer Division. Again, we're sort of trying to keep it within the whole, Ardennes fighting situation, of course, so it's right over there. 21st Panzer Division, this time actually a bit better equipped. Not so much French stuff. Nope. And of course, one thing to note about Ruins of Rouen, of course, it's a very urban map, but unlike other maps, though, it's a different sort of urban. It's the sort of one where there's, in fact, not a lot of buildings you can actually use. And if they are sort of easy to fall apart, which also means there's more just tight quarters, less, buildings to fight from. So keep that in mind. Of course, that creates some differences from, say, other maps like, I don't know, Saint-Mer-du-Mont, for example, or Saint-Mer-du-Mont, depending on how you like the map. Of course, and who shall be imposing them? It shall be UberNinja. Yes, indeed, the UberNinja, except I don't think there were any German ninjas fighting for the Americans. I mean, my World War II knowledge, of course, could be a bit lacking in that part, but I'm pretty sure there were not. So we'll just call him UberN, fighting for the Americans, fighting for the 30th Infantry Division. And in fact, let's get right down to it. Let's get to the action. I said action, you. There we go. Kencrad on the move, a bit of politeness there. Jolly good, jolly good. Headquarters flashing with its red lights ominously. Kencrad advancing towards the east, and we are seeing the KLR building. What that stands for, though, I have no idea. Could be a subdivision of the Pitlevsky. Yes, indeed. No. Barracks going up. Second engineer team. In this case, though, I mean, just a brief suggestion on how to sort of set up your bases. I mean, I'm not here to tell you, and of course, I make a lot of stupid mistakes myself, and sometimes when you're setting up bases. But a good suggestion is always to sort of place some of them right at the edge of the base. I mean, it might sound, well, then I can't set up as swiftly as possible. But here's the thing, though. It allows you to sort of have a point at the edge of your base to reinforce, plus it also serves that in case your opponent decides to lob a lot of artillery at your headquarters, then you have somewhere else to send them to reinforce, rather than just have them right here at the center of the base getting bombarded. Keep that in mind, and that's particularly something very useful for the Wehrmacht if, say, a howitzer is ranged in on your base. And of course the Americans and the British both can have those. Riflemen on the way, though. 2 Panzer Grenadier teams ready. Gewehr 43 equipped for 1, keeping them together. Good. Of course, also try to sort of keep them a bit spread out, but usually when you're just moving about, I mean, there's usually nothing wrong. I mean, that's just what you'd call a march formation. No need to sort of muck about with that when you're moving about. But when you attack, spread out. Always spread out when you're attacking. When you're moving, you don't need to sort of manage it greatly, and of course then it's just important that you get them moving. So quick note there, and setting up positions here. Gewehr 43 team covering. This is good. I mean, you want the team with the most firepower to provide the cover for the other team. So good move here, right here. Nice tactics, nice decision. Engineers running right into the Panzer Grenadiers. Lots of rifle fire flying from the veteran troops right here, sort of partially veteran troops of the 21st Panzer Division. And the engineers were forced away. Once more riflemen moving about, moving in against the Panzer Grenadiers, opening up, firing there. A second rifleman team on the way. Other engineer team moving in through there. Panzer Grenadiers taking territory. They could sort of move in. And standing there, oh dear, they're focusing on the wrong team. They're not focusing on the one they're close up to. Bad priority, Mr. UberN. And the riflemen are now taking heavy fire from the Panzer Grenadiers. They're too close, and of course they haven't focused on the Gewehr 43 equipped Panzer Grenadiers, who are now gunning them down with their semi-automatic rifles, and now forcing them away at the same time. Good move, retreat afterwards, and of course in this case, Panzer Grenadier teams are a lot more, prone to going down because they only have 3 teams, and that of course also leads to a sort of curious thing. I mean, yes, they might be tougher, but that's sort of the thing, that a lot of more riflemen can easily focus them down to the fewer targets. More riflemen moving in. These Panzer Grenadiers might want to be a bit more cautious, or at least being heavy cover. Oh dear, they're caught outside. More are moving in. This is good. No, they're just standing about. Wait, there we go. And the other team reinforcing that is, of course, 4 Panzer Grenadier teams so far. No buildings as of yet. And Rifleman opening up on the Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers might want to retreat. 1 Rifleman down, though. Yes, there we go. Rückzug. And the second and third arriving on the scene. Rifleman now forced away as well, rather realizing he can't win this. Good move. He certainly managed to do some damage, and of course in this case there's sort of the war of attrition, this sort of how can you ground down your opponent. Of course, the more losses you cause to him, the better, because the Panzer Grenadiers are a much more expensive force to reinforce, although in this case only 2 down. That's about 90 manpower, while of course our American friends have suffered, well, a bit more greatly actually. So far the rate of attrition, of course the sort of manpower war, is currently in the advantage of MajorAndersLarsen. Of course, yes, that is Major. Since of course this is German, or well, in Danish it sort of sounds the same in fact. Engineers securing this victory point. Currently the Americans are holding most of the map, sort of in fact completely unopposed here, while Panzer Grenadiers are securing territory in the center. And the Gewehr 43 equipped moving out about as well. In fact, they started this building, but apparently the others are finishing it, moving up again. The ones with the most firepower first, getting the most out of them. Good move, I mean good use of priorities. Kampfgruppe Company flashing up, could be Panzer X, could be a half-track. I mean, we even have this sort of company right there. Very nice little detail. Again, that is certainly one of the great things about combative use, the attention to detail. And Kettenkraut being forced away by the engineers. The Gewehr 43 equipped Panzer Grenadiers apparently hunting in. And oh dear, looks like we'll be having a major clash right here. Panzer Grenadiers engaging the riflemen. Lots of riflemen here. In fact, some of them moving in close to the Panzer Grenadiers. However, can this end in a nice dispersed position in a sense? Different pieces of heavy cover and such. Panzer Grenadier down though, but the riflemen are taking a beating there. And more Panzer Grenadiers arriving. Others running away at the same time. Good job there, getting out there in time. Very keen, intuition for sort of know when to bloody hell get your own men out of there. These chaps could use a bit more cover, and slowly pulling away. Rifleman team 1 going down. Panzer Grenadiers actually taking some losses. Gewehr 43. Oh dear, they've sort of forgotten to move out, or perhaps they're sort of having a standoff waiting for either to move. No, the Panzer Grenadiers are moving in. Could be taking up position right here in the flight control tower, but no. Instead, they are charging in at the engineers, opening up. Will they be ending? There we go, engineers down and on the retreat, and a half-track is ready. Infantry half-track, of course, in this case, leichte Schützenpanzerwagen. Light infantry half-track. The Germans had 2 types of half-tracks. One light, usually for reconnaissance units, battalions, all that. Although in some cases they would get it would also be equipped to regular Panzer Grenadiers if they couldn't get otherwise. And of course the regular, the mittlere, which was more towards, regular Panzer Grenadiers. Riflemen charging at the Panzer Grenadiers, and half-track opening up. Good use, keep your Panzer Grenadiers and half-track together. They're a combined unit. I mean, the half-track is supposed to fight with Panzer Grenadiers. I do, unfortunately, see a lot of people. Oh dear, these Panzer Grenadiers need to get away. They're awfully wounded. Oh dear, this could... And that was a pretty huge coup for UberN. So killing 1 Panzer Grenadier team, that's going to be very costly for the AndersLarsen of the 21st Panzer. But still, again, back to half-track, keep your Panzer Grenadiers fighting with your half-track. Of course, your half-track supporting the Panzer Grenadiers. I've seen quite a few players who make the mistake of sort of thinking, well, it's just a sort of armoured car, isn't it? No, it's a half-track. It's a support vehicle. It's a pretty good one if you know how to use it. In fact, can do a lot of damage again and sort of support of Panzer Grenadiers, so keep that in mind. It looks like the Major right here has, of course, figured it out. Riflemen on the move through the south. Engineers sort of mucking about there in the east. Half-track coming under fire. Moving it forwards. And, oh, right there, that's a mistake. And of course, what am I talking about? Well, there's no need to drop all of your units out of the half-track. Only 1 team, and certainly not the one which is, the most wounded. I mean, keep 1 team in the half-track, keep the other one out. And there's, of course, there are flamethrowers or grenades nearby, but otherwise, no point in jumping them all out. Of course, some of them can fight from the half-track and certainly gain an advantage from that. Keep that in mind.
Supply lines are being threatened. Supply lines are broken.
But still, in this case, I mean, otherwise, good use of it. Good use the mobility of the half-track to quickly get your troops there. And, of course, do some damage. And, of course, the half-track itself can also do some nice damage again in support of your Panzer Grenadiers. It's a very nice unit. I certainly like using the infantry half-track. And, of course, if I see my opponent going for 2 BARs, I usually now get 2 infantry half-tracks. That way, of course, I have increased mobility, increased anti-infantry firepower, and, of course, the ability to be a lot more places at once. And now going for the Panzerjäger command. Sneaky, sneaky. At the same time, we are seeing a Trier center going up. He's a bit lacking in infantry. He has taken some losses, down to 3 infantry teams and an engineer team. This is not looking good. A good friend UberNinja has been taking some losses himself, but certainly he's also cost some to our Panzer Elite friend, who though still has 4 Panzer Grenadier teams. Good job, Major, or Major. You are you do the fatherland proud. So far. Half track moving about. Oh, the Panzer Grenadiers moving about. So far, so good. Very nice little scene here. Moving through the darkness of the night, ready to counterattack the Yankees, who are now moving through here, and this could be another engagement. There we go, infantry half track under fire. No, ignoring it, and apparently going for these more exposed riflemen in the north. Panzer goes moving in with a Panzer Trek, apparently getting that just in case. Though there's no need. I mean, when you see your opponent going for BARs, you can usually expect. And there we go again, dropping out all Panzer Grenadiers. One has actually veterancy, could use it, get some offensive. And we are seeing some riflemen getting suppressed. Half-track firing away. And of course, note, the half-track can actually suppress. And there we go, once it gets close enough, enough fire of all of the sorts. There we go. I mean, again, good usage of his infantry half-track and support of his Panzer Grenadiers. He just, needs to stop popping out every one of it. Just send out one team to sort of increase the firepower and keep the other one in it. Usually the one most wounded. That's how I usually do it.
Losing ground out there.
Riflemen moving about. Engineers charging in. Panzer Riflemen are not quite in heavy cover. Again, you need to be at it. Just like in real life, I suppose. Engineers charging in, but coming under fire from Panzer Grenadiers and half-track. Panzer Grenadiers burned alive, and others now getting scorched themselves, getting veterans in the process. And a bit of work here in the east. Some Panzer Grenadiers left on their own. Armored car is ready. Good move there. And the engineers. Oh dear, these engineers could go down. This could be very bad. No, they make it out of there. Good show. And we are seeing a supply up. This is good. Oh, floating too much manpower though. I don't like that. And looks like he's dropping in some airborne. Of course, I know where. So, of course, I'll be looking here from above the airborne of the 101st, ready to counterattack those damn Krauts. Take that, Kettenkrad. Let him taste M1 carbine. And the Kettenkrad gets away pretty unscathed. Oh dear, that's a bit embarrassing for those airborne. And instead, the armored car moves in to take its place. Ready with its auto cannon, firing away at the airborne. This is not looking good. One goes down. The rest try to get away. No medic station for the Americans though. Engineers moving forward, riflemen as well. Riflemen moving in, taking heavy cover. And once more again, using the half-track to swiftly get your troops from point A to point B, of course, from here to there. And of course, the other Panzer Grenadiers moving around on the foot, of course, much slower. So of course, this is also a great way to use the half-track. Quickly shift about your troops where the trouble is going on with lots of troops. And of course the armor car can of course blast away cover as well. And oh dear, of course in these cases you want to get your troops out of it. In fact, when they're flamethrowers, because they can do really some nasty damage to your troops inside. So in that case, of course, it would be nice to get out. Panzer Grenadiers though taking heavy. Oh dear, that was bad for him. Time to have a look at the Major actually. So far actually doing pretty well, but again note heavy losses for the Panzer Grenadiers inside the half track. Forced to pull away. Armor compromising, covering fire. Other one could also move in with some more Panzer Grenadiers. I think some veterancy was achieved actually for the half-track, perhaps some defensive in this case. There we go, increasing the health. Very nice, also decreasing the damage taken a bit, I believe. Could be some movement from here, from the center to support the others chaps right here. Americans pushing through, airborne ready. Could get some recoilless rifles to help against all those light vehicles, would do very well, in fact. No doctrine as of yet for the MajorAndersLarsen. A bit bad, of course, a thing to remember. Once you get 3 command points, the rate at which you actually gain these command points actually slows down. So, I mean, the fastest is up to 3 command points. I mean, after that, so better use it like that before. Just a quick note, if possible, of course. Panzer Grenadiers opening up on the rifleman. Armada 3 has arrived. He's really keen on preparing himself for any sort of armored business. I mean, that's not entirely bad. Oh, dear, these Panzer Grenadiers need to retreat. Only one man with a Gewehr 43, and there we go. Panzer Grenadiers charging in under cover of Marder 3 and armored car fire. Marder, so in fact, actually scoring a kill. The Marder 3, of course, not the best vehicle for sort of, killing infantry, but it can do the job in some cases. Further Panzer Grenadiers advancing. Armored half-track now repaired as well. Panzer is trying to reinforce, of course, again. If you are in danger, get them into your half-track for, you know, sort of quickly get them away. Airborne firing away. Armada 3 taking damage, but all this is in fact knocking them down. Offensive infantry for the armored car. These tank busters need to get to cover safety. They could go down any minute. And these riflemen are taking heavy losses. Anti-tank gun dropping in. A bit of a bad spot to do it in. Engineers moving forwards. Panzer guns moving forwards again. Armored car sort of flanking around on that anti-tank gun. Show those armies who's boss. Oh dear, hang on. Armored car, get away. And looks with the armored car actually knocks out the crew of the anti-tank gun. Armored car though is heavily damaged. Rifleman holding on behind heavy cover. Armored car goes down. Oh dear. And another armored car moves into the rescue. Quite the fight, although again, I mean, he seems to have several other armored cars that could have moved in. Although he is certainly lacking in Panzer Grenadiers, not looking good. And now 4 command points, again, you know, wouldn't be a bad idea to use for example. I mean, in this case, and I do believe it's time for the mid-game analysis, so let's just take it at that. I mean, currently not looking good for the Americans, but of course, what sort of problem is facing the German commander? I mean, he has a lot of territory to hold. I mean, then in those sort of questions, well, what doctrine would you might go for? I mean, if you're really, you know, seriously expecting armor, which he is, but then again, he has Marders, he has Panzer Shake, so he's sort of prepared. I mean, but again, if you know otherwise aren't, you know, you might want to go tank destroy, you know, lay down some telemines, get some tank awareness up to sort of keep an eye on things, perhaps get a heads up, you know, tank telemines. On the other hand, for example, you know, scorched earth could be good. Booby trap as many points, so when he actually has to advance, he's going to be suffering a lot more. And of course allow you to sort of improvise some defense. Of course, Luftwaffe to a certain degree can also be used, you know, just to give you the raw manpower force, you know, Luftwaffe forces. Of course, use them to lay down sandbags and barbed wire. These, of course, the sort of suggestions you could do. I mean, to sort of try and hold a large area, of course, which he clearly doesn't have the forces to hold. I mean, in this case, I might, you know, and also seeing, you know, he has gone airborne, so there's no threat of, you know, poachings or anything like that. I might actually, you know, suggest a scorched earth approach, you know, booby traps, perhaps some other business, barbed wire from the Panzer Grenadiers, or I might go for Luftwaffe. Of course, Luftwaffe is certainly the most flexible of the doctrines. But, you know, let's return to the... Oh, we can't forget the Americans, who is certainly a bit, you know, penned in, not looking too good for him now, is it? No. But, of course, not at all lost. I mean, he could have used the medic station earlier, but still, you know, there is the fact, again, and that's currently the weakness of this whole situation. He can't really hold a lot of it. He's a bit, you know, has taken some losses. So, of course, as the American sort of tries to break out with a solid push through here, he could do it alright, you know, force the Panzer Elite to attack him. And with the recordless rifles take a nasty toll on them, and he does have them now. So that's only one possibility, but he needs to break through here. I mean, another attack through here is going to fail pretty terribly. So let us return to the fight and let us see how this will actually work out. Well, let's speed this up. And a tank depot going up. I mean, of course, that's only also one thing to mention, you know, to really, you know, buff up that attack, you know, with a good German tank. Unless, of course, it runs into the Marder 3, in which case you might be suffering some problems, mate. But repairing the Marder 3, good move. And assault rifles being equipped for the Panzer Grenadiers. Armored car preparing a bit of a watch over here in the flanks. Good move, you know, that is certainly one of the uses of the armored car in the war, you know, to cover flanks. Americans sneaking up here. Are they? Yes, indeed. I mean, you can see a bit around, you know, observations post, but you can't see very far unless you are defensive. There we go. They are spotted now. This should be the sort of point where our friend here actually goes into action. Yes, indeed, armored cars are on the move. Get the half-track in as well with the Panzer Grenades, you know, use your ability to quickly react to this. Focusing on the engineers, perhaps. Yes, there we go. Half-track not getting crewed. Large American force moving through here, and of course the fact that he's only sending in some armored cars without any infantry support could in fact prove to be to the advantage of the American commander. Armored car, though, dodging the... or well... airborne missing the armored car. American rifle moving forwards. Other armored car moving in. They could get sticky bomb though. Be careful. Building has collapsed under recoilless rifle fire. Armored car keeps, not getting hit, but has to be careful in this case, trying to fight rifle in heavy cover, taking quite a bit of damage. And the infantry half-track is on the move. About time, about time. Half-track advancing, and oh dear, he makes a mistake again. He makes the same mistake. In particular, this one is very silly. And in fact, I'll just briefly pause to explain it. He rushes up close to the rifleman, of course, close within automatic range, and drops them out pretty much out in the open. I mean, had he wanted to do this, probably, perhaps drop one off here, and again, keep one inside. Again, do not drop out all your infantry as bloody huge targets right in front of your enemies in skirmish positions. That tends to be a pretty silly idea. And of course, these Panzer grenades are probably going to go down in a swift and brutal manner. Further moving in, of course, and there we go. Heavy losses, one team cut down in seconds. Again, you do not drop off like that. Please promise me you won't do that. I mean, he's otherwise doing reasonably well, but that right there was a pretty huge cock-up. And of course, now his Panzer grenades are forced away. Rifleman also retreating, it seems like. Marder 3 holding the line here, but not going to hold. Panzer Strike Grenadiers also hanging out. And the armored cars not looking well either. I mean, looking a bit shaken. He does have a Panzer Support Command up. Also quite a bit of a manpower question, of course. Will he use it? And what will he be using that Panzer Support Command for? And looks like an armored car did go up in flames and smoke. Infantry half-track moves in now. I'm completely unsupported. Kettenkrad under fire from the flamethrower. No idea what he's doing. Anti-tank gun ready there as well. Sneaky, sneaky. More Panzer grenades on the way. Interestingly enough, he's not trying to upgrade the Panzer Support Command and perhaps get a Panzer IV. I mean, that would actually be a pretty sneaky move, doing more damage to the American riflemen and all that. Half-track hiding behind some ruins. Very good move. And he should be aware, of course, due to the proximity to the point right here, that there's an anti-tank gun. So, of course, he's not quite keen, sticking out his nose. But, of course, reinforcing the western positions. This is good, Keep striking where there is. Although, of course, he has to be fast on this. Of course, now all the Panzer grenades are charging in. In which case, he might actually lose. And, interesting enough, the Major still hasn't chosen a doctrine and used a single point. Airborne getting overwhelmed by the Panzer grenades of the 21st Panzer Division. And the half-track is actually under fire from the anti-tank gun. Apparently, he can't hit it. This is not good at all. Engineers getting suppressed and might even get gunned down. And the half-track is lost. Oh dear, that was tragic. I mean, this was a very, good half-track. Solid. Fought well for the Wehrmacht, but now apparently was sadly discarded by his owner. Very sad. Recoilless rifle has been dropped, but apparently no attempt by the Panzer grenades to actually pick it up. And these need to get into cover. Assault rifle Panzer grenades charging in. Clearing out the riflemen. This is good. Heavy losses thanks to the awesome might of the Sturmgewehr. And now the anti-tank gun is left behind on its own. Not a lot of victory points left either for the good UberN.
An enemy unit has fallen to our
Kettenkrad moving forwards, but of course again he is now at this stage. I mean, I think he might actually be getting a bit too confident. He's suffering a lot of losses he probably could have avoided, but apparently now he's feeling not like it at all. Now the riflemen are moving in once more. Kettenkrad needs to get into cover. Panzer grenade is also needed. Bit armor car opening up. Another recoilless rifle dropped behind. Could it be he actually killed the airborne? Actually looks like it. Nice, nice. And the Kettenkrads go down. I mean, it really looks like, MajorAndersLarsen's infantry preservation skills have gone absolutely down the drain. Riflemen with veterancy 2 charging forwards. But the Panzer grenades are ignoring them. They're trying to get the other team. This is terrible. And this team needs to get a... Oh! You absolute clockwinder. I mean, he just lost a Panzer Grenadier team with veterancy 2. And that was absolutely bad. And the Marder 3 and the tank bus are still doing absolutely nothing here in the east. This is looking very bad. No attempt at picking up the recoilless rifle. Armored car needs to stop these riflemen. Something needs to be stopped. Done about these riflemen. Now getting another Kettenkrad. I can't help but feel that currently our friend MajorAndersLarsen's priorities might be a bit messed up. Armored car and Panzer grenades fighting off against these riflemen. And he's floating an awful lot of manpower. I mean, there's no point in that. I mean, call in some airborne, create some riflemen, something, I mean, again, Oh, a strafing run. Nasty that. Causing some losses to the Panzer Grenadiers. But again, you know, unless you have something very specific in mind, don't float resources if possible. No, sometimes it can be very stressful, and of course you are rather focused on the front line, but you know, try it a bit, you know, it might actually turn out good. Sherman on the way, and there we go. Of course, a lot of troops getting reinforced, but still he could get some more riflemen. No supply at upgrade either, or a medic station, for example, but now the Panzer Elite are still holding most of the territory, though they haven't taken this point, or this point. I mean, in this case, of course, it might be an idea to not send in your Panzer Grenadiers instead of have them try and take a medium fuel point when you are this close to victory. You know, again, priorities. When there are 45 points left, you know, it might be an idea to go for both and, you know, sort of quickly drain them out. But apparently, you know, MajorAndersLarsen is either stressed out or he's feeling very, very, very complacent, which is something you should never do, in particular against an American, which is certainly one of the easier ones to make a comeback with at times. Marder 3, though, still looking nice and dapper. And there we go, another American assault. Only very few forces, and again, should have gone for that victory point. I really think that was a mismove. Panzer Grenadiers coming under fire. Riflemen charging forwards. And these Panzer Grenadiers need to get retreat. Oh, there we go, retreating. Armored car getting reinforced. Several Panzer Grenadiers nearby to counterattack. They need to counterattack. Please counterattack. No, he's not. He's not reacting. Come on, Major. Or Major. And now the Sherman has arrived. This is starting to really prove problematic for the Major, who's now getting another infantry half-track at this stage. I can't really help but feel he's just making a series of really bad decisions. Panzer Grenadiers going down. The tank busters need to retreat. Marder 3 moving in to hunt down the... Oh, he lost the tank busters and a Panzer Schreck. And the Marder 3 trying to hunt down the... Again, I mean, a rule of thumb, if a vehicle doesn't have a turret, I mean, it just has a fixed gun, you know, you use it to support infantry or, you know, tanks or something like that. Do not send it on its own to hunt down a tank. That tends to be, you know, a pretty bad move, but still apparently it succeeds slightly here, but still can take a bit of damage hitting the rear, though. Come on, fire. Fire frei. Sherman crawling behind the cover, good there. Half-track firing away. Oh, the armored car lost everything. Is crumbling from the Major. This is not looking good. Tank busters moving in. Assault rifle Panzer Grenadiers ready there. Riflemen and engineers hiding in heavy cover. And the riflemen, veteran C3 riflemen charging at the Marder 3, covering it in a sticky bomb. Oh dear, heavy damage, immobilized. This is a very good moment for the Sherman, in fact, to move in. And these tank busters might also want to consider getting away, or at least closes the infantry half-track. And the Sherman moves in, gets the kill. Marder 3 is down. This is looking very bad all of a sudden. MajorAndersLarsen has at this stage pretty much squandered whatever advantage he had. But 14 points left. Could he do it? Could he do it still? Could he turn things around after having wasted so much more airborne getting called in? But his forces are simply too spread out. Panzer Grenadiers moving about with the assault rifle with their Sturmgewehrs. Caught out in the open by more veteran units, and then they need to get away. Oh dear, one down. Rückzug! Rückzug! Quick before it's too late. Oh dear, this could in fact be too late. And a recordless rifle has been secured by the rifleman. In fact, 2 might be. Interesting enough, no one has picked up that Panzer Schreck. Sherman advances. Tank busters not looking too good. In fact, looking very bad. Engineers were killed, but the tank busters need to get back to the half-track for reinforcement. Half-track looking awfully damaged as well. Only a few Panzer Grenadiers left. He barely has any units left, but he isn't doing anything. He's not producing. He's just... Oh dear, he's floating resources for something. He's probably perhaps hoping for a Panther battle group to save his bacon. No, he's getting a Kettenkrad. Oh no, you don't need a Kettenkrad now. You need to kill the troops protecting the points, otherwise your Kettenkrad won't do anything. And the half-track goes up in fire and smoke. And the tank busters are left to hold the line, but taking too many losses. Need to retreat. And the tank busters died. That was quite unfortunate. Leaving him behind with only 2 infantry teams and a Kettenkrad. Having gone from having such a strong position, he simply lost it all. Quite amazing. Of course, that shows what can happen if you're not too careful, and of course not thinking about things, you know, when you do hold most of the territory. And then the sort of thing is, well, how do I hold all of this? Should I try to hold all of this? And if not, what should I try to hold? And of course he probably could have gotten this if he had taken that point earlier and then trying to take this fuel point. He pops could have drained the American completely. Really a bad case of prioritizing, going completely down the drain. I mean, I've absolutely no idea why he suddenly went so badly in priorities. I mean, he had great tactics in the start and then everything just fell through. Being behind only 2 Panzer Grenadier teams now, in fact, to deal with these riflemen, gunning them down, but the Panzer Grenadier team could be lost. Riflemen forced away, other riflemen team moving in. Panzer Grenadiers hiding behind the remnants of one of the armored cars. And getting gunned down, need to retreat. And he's getting more Kettenkrads. I have absolutely no idea. I mean, really, he needs something else than Kettenkrads at this stage. He needs something that can fight. The Kettenkrad cannot fight. Well, let's speed this up until he gets that damn Panther battle group, which he better had. Or better has.
We hold the initiative.
But Panzer is moving forwards on their own, getting gunned down, obviously. Sherman moving in. And there we go. Panther battle group is ready. The 21st Panzer Division provides a bit of armor for this unit. Sticky bomb going off on the Panther. Oh dear. And again, of course, the cavalry moving close to infantry. And there we go. Damaged engine. This is looking terrible. Riflemen with recoilless rifles moving in. This is looking even worse. But apparently the first shot bounces off. Sherman gets away from the Panthers as they advance down on it. Sherman taking some damage. And there we go. 1 hit from the Veterans 3 recoilless rifle and almost down half in health. Really, I mean, a rear hit from a recoilless rifle can be really nasty. In particular, Veterans 3, so of course be careful with that. Do not expose your rear armor. And a sticky bomb. And another hit. And, oh dear, destroyed engine almost down. Could be even one more hit, and this... No, that bounces off. Panther on its own against the Sherman. An anti-tank on ready as well. Heavy damage. Well, perhaps it was something else that did the damage then to the half-track the Panther. Perhaps that anti-tank gun, who knows, but still... Heavy damage. Panther will be lost, I fear. And there we go. The Major retreating, rather realizing he squandered the 21st Panzer Division's most precious resources, his men, in this unforgivable fight in the Ruins of Rouen. So, there you go. And of course, question is, what can we learn from such a thing? Of course, I mean, we saw some very good, use of tactics, good use of prioritizing in the beginning from the Panzer Elite commander. Trouble was, when he then had the advantage, he completely blew it away. He got way too complacent, way too lazy, way too relaxed, and Round actually resulted in him in throwing it all away. He quickly lost a lot of units in bad decisions. Of course, I mean, again, do not jump all of your Panzer Grenadiers out from a half-track right in front of the enemy. Very bad decision. And of course, the fact that he kept getting Kettenkrads when he should have gotten something else. He probably shouldn't have got something else, and those Panthers use those manpower a lot more aggressively. And of course, again, do not float manpower. It's very, very bad. Of course, it was good for the American, of course, to exploit this. And of course, this man right now in the west attacking where I suspected the Panzer Elite wasn't so strong. And of course, breaking through there. So good move there. And of course, I hope you enjoyed this game. If you did, why not subscribe to your channel, friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.